We're aloof to cats and dogs, and maybe even hamsters as pets, but did you know that there are some other pretty unusual and gosh darn cute creatures out there? That you can take home with you. Surprisingly, for 100 years, Agent Trodent with webbed feet, there are 15 of the cutest pets you can legally own. Number 15, Capraher, cuss the domestic goat. Now, cute as a little goat may seem, they can also be a downright pain in the butt. So before you consider getting a goat, there's some things you should know, all goats of any breed. Like the living herd, so you're going to need to get at least two of them, Maury. You'll wind up with a sedan lonely Billy. No mates, goats chew up everything, so you need to think carefully about where you put them, because they'll eat your flowers, your trees, your laundry, maybe even your car. Make sure they just have plenty of space with grass or hay. Dwarf or pygmy goats are smaller than other breeds and make good pets. These fun, lively animals are good company, but they need a little bit of training and can be a lot of works. So sorry to button with the boring stuff, but eventho own. Ingots is legal in many places. Make sure that you check your own local laws because some places restrict farm animals from city centers. Otherwise, if you have a big enough space, enough spare time, and a budget to go along with it, goats can be good fun pets, not for everyone. But hey, whatever floats your goat. Before we goon like this video, mash the subscribe button and click the notification bell, right? Or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Number 14, domestic pigeon. Not the same as the ones that sit on people's heads. Since city parks domestic pigeons are dispensed by centuries, bird that you can keep as a pet is a rock pigeon. There are a few different breeds that have been developed to have different skills. Homing pigeons have traditionally been kept as racing birds by hobbyists. If you fancy a new hobby in the niche field of pigeon racing, then these may be the ones for you. Homing pigeons shall find their way back to their home from distances as far as up to 1,000 kilometers away, and they don't have satellite navigation, just a built-in bird-based compass. These clever birds have also been used throughout time as carrier pigeons to send and deliver messages. A cause of their great navigation skills and the ability to travel at speed, some heroic war pigeons have even carried essential messages across battlefields. With some of these special birds receiving medals for bravery, domestic pigeons and doves need a secure enclosure safe from rodents and predators. They'll also need clean water and food and space. Fascinating to watch. They're an unusual choice of a pet, but can be absolutely lovely companions.
Okay.
Number
Do you have any
13, the
water?
tortoise. Although it is legal to own a tortoise, there are different laws regarding tortoise breeds and how you get a hold of your pet. In the first place, the laws about tortoise ownership vary from country to country and even from state to states. So you're going to want to be sure to check out what the situation is wherever you are in the world. The humble tortoise is a lovely pet. They're reptiles, cold-blooded, and they're going to need to be able to bask either in the sun, as they would in the wild, or under of blight for tortoises to be able to control. Their temperatures, they need an outdoor space with areas of light and shade and a safe, comfortable place to rest. They're mostly vegetarian, although some types do eat insects in the wild, and they do need to eat a lot of leafy greens as well as space to forage. Tortoises have a reputation for being slow, but they can actually cover a fair distance in a short space of time. Some breeds can even travel up to 5 kilometers per hour, and surprisingly, they also like to dig soy. You're going to need to make sure that your pet tortoise doesn't dig a tunnel and hot-foot it out of the re. A tortoise will entertain you. They're funny little characters, and although you can't really cuddle up with one, it's impossible not to enjoy being around these extraordinary animals. And don't forget, a tortoise might live for up to 100 years. So you better have a plan in your willa if you're old. Number 12, the tarantula. Tarantulas can be a wesome pets or your worst nightmare, depending on whether or not you're scareders. These massive hairy spiders are pretty easy pets. They're rather clean, they're quiet, and they're also gentle, ideal creatures to share your home with their exotic animals, and that means they're going to need a certain amount of special equipment and slightly more of an unusual diet than your run-of-the-mill cat or dog. Tarantulas can live for over 20 years. So taking one into your care is an absolute commitment. You'll need a safe enclosure for them to live in, because they don't hang around together, so if you have more than one, you'll need to keep them separate. Also, these guys are like eight-legged how dinosaurs, and if there is ever a way to escape, they're going to, so if you don't want to give your roommate a heart attack, you'll need to find a secure way to keep your pet contained. If you're looking for a cuddly pet that likes to be handled, the tarantula may not be for you. Although some owners do have not rubble with their arachnids crawling all over them, these creatures do have a pretty painful bite. They're also known to have barbed hairs that they're able to release if they feel threatened. These hairs will poke into the skin, cause itching and discomfort, and it's a bit like getting poked by a cactus. Number 11, the pig George Clooney famously had a pot-bellied pig nicknamed Max Clooney, would often take Max with him when he was filming, no doubt to the delight of people working on these had. I'm sure this pet piggle, though cute, is rumored to have been the death knell for several of Clooney's relationships. She obviously chose his piggy palover the various beautiful women that he's been with. And really, who wouldn't? Pigs are actually awesome pets. The trickiest thing about them really is just their size. There are lots of stories out there of people who have bought a little piglet and brought it home, all with the assurances that the animal is a miniature breed, only to discover that that cute little piggy just kept on growing and growing and growing until they're actually sharing their apartment with Pumba and he's hogging all the covers anyways. So if you do have the space and a lot of love to get it a lot of love to give, a piggy pet is a great companion. These clever creatures can be house trained just like puppies and walk on a lead like a dog, but they do have a variety of needs that can be trickier to meet, although we generally think that pigs will eat and eat. Hink, they actually need a particular diet in order to be healthy. They should be fed with a special pig feed, and not only with the sorts of foods that you eat your mini pig might not really eat too much, maybe a few pounds of food a day. If you have a surprises-ized pig, then they can put away up to 7 pounds of food per day, and that's going to make a lot of really stinky pig poo. Number 10. Hyacinth macaw now. This is a pet for the professional animal owner. This beautiful bird is not for the faint-hearted, and taking one of these extraordinary creatures is like having a full-time bird care job. A hyacinth macaw needs a big space, and they're really good at lock, picking, and prison breaks, so finding a suitable cage for the bird can be a tricky business generally. They're going to need a whole room rather than just a cage, and they can be quite a handful. See what I mean about it being a full-time occupation. Their massive hooked beak is a powerful tool that these birds will actually use as they need to be trained, but fortunately enough, hyacinth macaws actually like to learn and will usually enjoy the social interactions that they have with their owners. So it really does make training fun. They'll want to spend a lot of time with you and will quickly start acting out if they don't get enough attention, which is fair enough. I guess the hyacinth macaw is the biggest of all parrots and can grow to sizes almost as big as a bald eagle. These birds are quite easy to train, known for being great companions, and will form a strong bond with their human, which is fortunate to really just look at the size of the thing.